Today, we're going to be helping our friends at Brevity to make $10,000 from SEO in 5 minutes' time. Here's what we're going to be doing. Going into this, I took about 15 minutes to audit the Brevity site. From that, I'm going to walk through the biggest SEO, AEO related takeaways that are leaving a lot of money on the table for the Brevity team right now. And first of all, yes, for context, Brandon, Dylan, and Elliot did give us the thumbs up to put this together. Hey guys. So I'm really excited to dive in. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through everything that we're seeing, all of which is going to be stuff that can be implemented without a really deep technical background. So the first thing that I want to highlight here is the depth of brand equity that the Brevity team has earned over the years. If you look at all their social channels, you'll see 1 million plus followers on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. But what's also really interesting to see is if we look in here at these estimated search traffic breakdowns, primary keyword rankings according to Ahrefs, biggest theme that jumps out is the top ranking keyword and the top traffic driving keyword for nearly every page on their site includes their brand name somewhere in the mix. So no surprise, homepage, they're ranking for their own name, Brevity. If we look at their main backpack, the original product ranks for Brevity backpack. Brevity jumper, we could see Brevity camera bag. So there is so much brand equity that they're getting thousands upon thousands of people going to search engines like Google every month to search them out by name. The opportunity that we're going to mainly focus on today is how can they better leverage that brand equity that they've earned, where now they have thousands upon thousands of people seeking them out by name on a monthly basis. How can they leverage all of that trust, all of that goodwill that they've earned, all that brand equity that they've earned to start getting way more people to find them who don't necessarily know Brevity exists? So great example, how do we get them to start ranking for themes like school backpack, everyday camera bag, and the likes that are going to bring thousands and thousands of more people to their site who have never discovered them? So in essence, turning search into a discovery channel rather than a destination channel for someone who finds them from another platform. So first theme that sticks out to me, I want to look at, first of all, their camera backpacks page. So if we look at this camera backpacks page, we're going to pull it up in the mix. We're going to see as of right now, they do rank 5th on Google across the US on average for the term camera backpacks. There are a couple big things that stood out to us that are going to help them to get way better rankings for this so they can get even more customers every month who are searching for themes like camera backpacks. So first, we pull up this page. If we look in here to see what is the breakdown of all sorts of SEO metadata, all sorts of SEO elements that are going to help them to rank better, we can see their title tag, top rated travel camera backpacks. That title tag is one of the biggest levers that you can pull to influence the keywords you're going to rank for. It's pretty safe to assume their main themes they want to rank for are travel camera backpacks, you name it. Now, when I look at this collections page, biggest thing that jumps out to me is I don't see an H1, a header 1 anywhere on the page. Understandably so, the page is built for conversions. It's very user friendly, lists out the backpacks, it's minimalist. What I would really love to see them do, because it's going to generate a ton of revenue in a very short time for them, would be either at the top of the page before we get into all the PDPs right here, or at the very bottom of the page to have an H1 in here that lists out, something like Brevity's full line of camera backpacks, Brevity's full line of travel camera backpacks, whatever that main theme is that they really want to rank this page for. From there, a couple other strategies. Optionally, they could add a description that's going to just provide a little more context into their backpacks, what makes them unique. I would argue that's primarily going to be done for LLMs and search engines rather than users, but it is something that's going to help them to rank really well. Now, what I would also really like to see them doing is adding supplemental content related to frequently asked questions that they get about their backpacks. They do have a really good starting point for an FAQ page, which I pulled up right over here, which lists out a whole bunch of common questions, things about shipping, even brand things like how do we pronounce the name, information related to Black Friday or for Christmas, hey, how long is it going to take to ship during the holidays? There's so much gold in here that LLMs are able to really easily cite. This isn't accessible from the main navigation. So it's not quite as easily accessible to human beings who might have some of these same questions. I'd love to see them updating this, adding an FAQ accordion right in here that takes those most popular questions, adds them in so it's really easy for users to find that. That's also going to help this page rank for a lot of other supplemental queries as well. Now, on top of that, one thing I'd really like to see them do in terms of ideation for how to find some of these great FAQs to go with, I recommend the tool Qforia. It's a tool that our friends over at iPullRank built out, entirely free to use at the moment. All you need to do is set up your own Gemini API key. You plug it in right up in here. And then what you can do is you can run what's called a query fan out analysis. In essence, you can see when large language models are looking to find information online about a specific topic to answer a user prompt, what are the various search terms that LLMs will type in order to get more information and provide a more cohesive response to the user. So here we just did a really basic one. In reality with LLMs, you're going to see way more long tail phrases in the mix. You're probably going to see 5, 10, 20 words in the mix. But I just want to get a high level. What does it look like for query fan out if we search for camera backpacks? What we can see in here is a breakdown of all of the different types of queries that LLMs are likely typing in or ultimately searching for in order to better inform those user prompts. So we can see things like what to look for in a camera backpack, how to organize a camera backpack, best affordable camera backpacks, camera backpack with laptop component. Let's see, camera backpack for hiking. Are camera backpacks worth it? So a lot of these elements imply very interesting and I would say very detailed they have that could all be used for either FAQs on that main camera backpacks collections page or even just as standalone articles. For example, if we look at something like what size camera backpack do I need? That can be a really great FAQ to say, hey, here's how to think about size guides for camera backpacks. If you need to have X, Y, and Z in your bag, maybe opt into this backpack. If you only need A, B, and C, opt into this bag. Things like, are camera backpacks worth it? Huge opportunity for them to be including some information about why should you be spending money on a camera backpack, why should you be spending money on a Brevite backpack specifically, rather than maybe something cheap you can get on Amazon for a fraction of the price that isn't going to last as long. Huge opportunities for something like camera backpack with laptop compartment. For them to add an FAQ talking about, hey, here's the bags that can specifically fit a laptop. Here's the bags that are going to have a tougher time fitting a laptop. That's a phenomenal FAQ, makes them way more likely to start ranking A, for users who are typing in these types of queries, B, for large language models to be able to reference those and realize that Brevity is a great brand for them to be recommending. With that, though, I know that we went on a huge rant about that one. So we're going to move on to the next opportunity. And actually, I'm going to pause the video because I'm starting to get sun in my eyes, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're good to go again. Sun is fixed. Second opportunity that stands out is if we look at this photo accessories PLP on their website. This is either a page that was fairly newly created or a page that has received a lot of modifications in the recent past. Reason I say that is this page has really skyrocketed in terms of rankings I think it was just the past couple of weeks, if memory serves. This is all coming from Ahrefs traffic estimates. So we can see right around February, they start seeing some traffic coming into the mix for this page. A lot of the keywords that this page is currently ranking for are going to be branded related terms. We can see Brevity camera bag, Brevity jumper, so on and so forth. This actually worries me a little bit. Reason being is we have this phenomenal page right here that's really well designed for users, that's already ranking in position 5 for camera backpacks right now across the US on average. And then we look at this page right here, and the H1 on the page is camera bags. So what I would really like to see happen with this page, this first of all is a phenomenal opportunity to start ranking for a lot of photography backpack related queries. So one, I would love to see the title tag changed from photography to something like photography backpacks or photography travel gear. You guys will know better than I will, but certainly you can do some keyword research. You can find a lot of great opportunities. I would recommend change the title tag to something like that. I would also recommend removing camera bags from the H1. Ideal scenario is we find a theme like photography backpacks. We incorporate that into the title tag. We incorporate it into the H1. But at the very least, I would really like to see camera bags just removed from that page entirely. The risk that we run into is we might get a keyword cannibalization issue where all of the sudden this page starts to be the one that search engines like Google perceive as the most relevant page on your website when people are searching for camera backpacks. And as a result, this is the only page that ranks in search results instead of your main camera backpacks collections page. In that event, I would imagine rankings will plummet as a whole for the site because this page doesn't have the authority attached to it in order to be ranking really well. So I would really like to see that removed. Even if it slightly dings rankings for this page in the short term, it's going to safeguard rankings that you have for the main camera backpacks page. But from there, huge opportunity to optimize this for more relevant queries. So on the collections front, probably seeing a trend. There's a lot of great collections opportunities or PLP opportunities right here. We have this school bag right here. You know, the H1 is everyday bags. The title tag was just school. So again, great opportunity for us to look at a page like this and determine what are the types of keywords that our customers are actually searching for online. Right now, the page doesn't have a ton of rankings associated with it. If memory serves, it didn't have any non-branded rankings. So what I really like to do, I find this to be, even without any expensive SEO tools, the best way to approach it is I'll search for something like school backpack. And I'll look to see, and I'm just going to put on my VPN so we get a US based search. I'll look to see what are the types of pages that are currently ranking in here. And then I'll look to see what sort of keywords do these pages rank for. New York Times ranks first. They're getting 10,000 visitors a month from this page. Probably not going to outrank the New York Times for that, but we might be able to outrank some of the other brands that are coming up in the mix. When I looked into it, I found a Reddit thread that was typically ranking pretty well for some of these related keywords. We could see themes like best backpacks for college or best backpacks for school, you name it. I would really like to see us pick one of these as the key theme we're going to go after and ultimately optimize this entire PLP around one of these core themes. So change the title tag, change the H1 to that core theme. With that, we're going to move on from the PLPs. A lot of these same recommendations can be applied to every other PLP on the website. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff in the mix as well. So one of the, I would say, details that stuck out to me that is kind of tangential to SEO, but it's likely costing quite a bit of money every month, is if we go to Google right now and we just search for Brevite discount codes, no surprise, Brevite has an affiliate program. So there are a lot of these big affiliate sites out there that are ranking for themes like Brevite coupon codes, Brevite discount codes. We could see this site right here is getting an estimated 113 people coming to this page every single month just from search engines like Google. 44 people coming to this page every month, 31 from this page. And we've worked with a lot of these types of affiliate sites before. We've worked with a lot of brands that partner with these affiliate sites before. In my experience, a lot of these coupon sites don't have valid coupon codes, which can create a really negative customer experience if they type in this coupon code and it doesn't give them any sort of discount. A, you might lose a customer. B, you might end up in a scenario where you're paying out these massive fees to some of these coupon sites. So what I really like to do in these scenarios is build out what I would call like an in-house discount code page. So Brevite guys, that might be creating a page on your website. Ideally, it's not linked to in the main navigation, but maybe it's linked to in some other blog articles on the site, maybe on your clearance page on the website, where you list out all sorts of active discount codes. Perhaps it's only active discount codes for like first-time orders. So maybe it would be, hey, 10% off your first order, 20% off if you bundle these items together. And listing them out there, listing out all those different coupon codes with the understanding that users who are looking for these types of codes will find something like that online. They're going to type something in and get that discount regardless. But this way, hopefully, we can at least get your version of the discount code page to be ranking in the SERPs, taking away a lot of this traffic with actually legitimate discount coupons so that one, you're paying out way less fees for these types of coupon sites. Two, if customers type in these codes, they have peace of mind that they're going to work. You have peace of mind that you're not going to lose a customer over a bad discount. Along those same overarching lines, brand opportunity right here. Brevite reviews. I love looking at this for e-com brands. Brevite has a ton of phenomenal reviews. So if we look at something like Brevity reviews, we can see their Trustpilot page pops up in position number 2, 4.5 stars, 270 reviews. Phenomenal starting point. We can see this Reddit thread pops up in the mix. We can see a lot of like one-off reviews come up in the mix, a couple of YouTube videos as well. I would love to see the Brevity team build out a dedicated reviews page on the website, link to it from the main navigation, and ultimately have it just be a feed of all customer reviews over time. Perhaps it's even something where you set up, similar to what you have on product pages, you set up some different filtering mechanisms so people can filter reviews based on specific tags that they're looking for to better understand the product. Huge opportunity to make sure that when people are looking for these reviews, that you have greater control of those conversations. It's also going to better safeguard you. Let's say if one unhappy customer out of like thousands writes one of these long form articles talking about their frustrations with one element of the product, and all of a sudden that starts ranking really well in search. I know we're way over on time, so I hope you guys don't mind a bunch of additional free insights. But one of the other big things that jumped out is, and this is a huge opportunity for most e-com brands we work with, if we run just a quick page speed insights report for the Brevity homepage, we can see at the moment our performance scores are not the best, sitting at a 36 for the last 28 days of data. This is strictly looking at the homepage. What I would really encourage is look at, maybe it's the top 5 pages on the site. So I would assume it's that camera backpack, like PDP. I would assume it's the camera backpack collections page, the PLP. The homepage, 1 or 2 others, run this exact same test. There's a lot of stuff that just unfortunately is par for the course with Shopify websites that isn't easily controlled. But there are some great things that you can do that'll drastically improve these site speeds. 1, it's going to help with SEO. 2, it's going to help with LLM rankings. I would argue the biggest benefit you're going to get, though, is higher conversion rates. So image delivery is the biggest opportunity I would start out with. If we look in here, we can see a handful of images on the website. Fortunately, it looks like a lot of the images are already converted to a modern file format called WebP, which is exceptional. Anyone else listening to this who is totally confused by the term WebP, Google Web or WEBP. It is a phenomenal way to boost your site speed. It's just a newer way of serving images on your site that creates images that load way faster for users without sacrificing quality. A lot of great Shopify apps, WordPress plugins that will allow you to do all that stuff. So right here, I can see most of the images are already optimized into a WebP format. One thing that really jumps out, though, is a lot of the images on the homepage in particular, and I suspect we'll see the same on other pages on the website, are in much larger file dimension sizes than they need to be. So for example, we have this pop-up that comes up on the site. It's like an email subscription bar with a discount offer. Right now, the actual image dimensions are 721 by 903. That's what's actually used on the website. The image itself is, call it 2800 by 1650. It's a huge opportunity to shrink down that image, re-upload it in there. That's going to save basically like a megabyte of data on this image. Same thing with the logo, and this is obviously appearing on every page of the website. Image dimensions actually used are 219 by 34. The image dimensions that we have on the site are significantly larger than that. We can see, call it 5800 by 900. It's a huge opportunity to shrink that down so that that loads in a fraction of the time on every page. Same thing that we'll see here. This was a slider, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it was a carousel. So big opportunity, reduce the file dimension sizes right in here. This image doesn't actually use WebP. Let's see, reduce the image dimensions right in here. So ultimately downloading these images, shrinking down the file size, re-uploading them, re-adding them into the theme, huge way to boost the site speed. So another big opportunity I would recommend. And I think the last thing that we'll get into today is one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the sitemap on the site. I see this for nearly every e-com brand we work with that does any form of like paid media. If we look in here, typically there will be a handful of what I'd call like PPC-centric landing pages or affiliate-centric landing pages that are not intended to rank in organic search. They're strictly intended to be pages that you can send paid traffic to, that an influencer can send traffic to. On this page, we're going to see a couple different, broadly speaking, like influencer pages, PPC pages. So I flagged a couple of them right in here. We have this page right here, Instagram backpack, which this one I would argue is probably a developer page. Likely this was built out and is inserted into like a certain section of maybe the homepage, but is still living as a standalone page. All sorts of different Shopify apps that will make it really straightforward to do this, but I would recommend no indexing this and the other like influencer content, PPC content type pages. I suspect this one right in here is probably a template that's used for any sort of like YouTube creators who are promoting your bags. Same thing, I'd recommend de-indexing this in any versions of that page. The tool that I've used most often that's free is called NoIndexly. Free Shopify app, or it's a freemium model, but the free version will be totally sufficient for this use case. Would really recommend doing that in here. With that, we are super over on time. I'll add the context into the show notes that we went way over the original 5-minute plan. But guys, super excited to see you push this all live. It's going to make you a ton of money. Remember, listeners, if you're interested in having us audit your site just like this, email us audits@intergrowth.com. Once again, audits@intergrowth.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.